is a grazing standing crop? It's a cereal crop that is held back for a fodder base for grazing later in the season. It can be grazed once it has become reproductive, so anywhere from stem elongation and into grain fill. The cereal crop can be a straight cereal crop, or it can be a combination of a cereal with a legume underneath. Grazing a standing crop can be a versatile and productive option for farmers. The grazing standing crop can provide high quality feed for lambs, and it is available when pastures have dried off at the end of late spring and prior to the harvested crop stubbles being available for grazing. Importantly, these crops have been grown on winter rainfall.
Howdy, I'm Josie Jackson. Jamie and I farm at Willalooka. We have approximately 2,000 Aussie white shedding sheep, and we lamb down 3 times in 2 years. Our biggest lambing is July-August, and we have the biggest number of lambs to wean at the end of October, which starts to become grass seed season for us. So we still try and wean lambs onto green feed pasture base for a start, as when we first tried standing crops and weaning lambs onto them, they didn't do as well as on the pasture. But we've learnt now in history that if we can hold these crops over until nearly Christmas time and put our lambs, once they're just a little bit bigger, onto the standing crop, we've got a paddock free of grass seeds. We're not reaping the crop and then feeding it back to the sheep. We keep the lambs in here for a month or 2 while we'd like to go to the beach over the summer. Grass seed free, well fed, and we just feed them with either lucerne hay or lupins in a silo to get more protein, and the lambs do extremely well. Our crops are basically grown to feed sheep, but they're also part of a pasture renovation phase. Because we delve a paddock, we need a couple of years of something like a barley or a cereal in there to get rid of the weeds before we do our pastures. Ultimately, in the long run, we want good mixed perennial pastures for our sheep. When we first started trialling the grazing standing crops, we weaned lambs into a dry crop, and they didn't do as well as the lambs that were on the pasture. So we learnt the next year to start feeding them lucerne hay and lupins straight away so that they had their higher protein. In the long run, last year we put the wether lambs onto pasture and the ewe lambs onto a crop. But we left putting the ewe lambs onto the crop until they'd been weaned for about a month onto pasture, they'd grown a bit, and they had been introduced to the barley a little bit later. They did so much better in doing that. So now we try and wean all of our lambs onto a good perennial pasture. This year we have got some that have got barley drilled into them, so they'll adapt themselves to the barley. And once they've finished that, it won't matter whether it's wethers or ewe lambs that come onto here. It's still a good grass seed free paddock to graze lambs on for a couple of months over the summer till they're ready to go to market or be kept.
Some handy hints for grazing standing crops. One is to mow around the outside of the paddock and mow access to the trough. Another option is to leave the gate open to another paddock that's got a pasture in there, so the sheep can wander between the two. It is really important to get a quality test on your fodder and grain, and then you can apply and provide the supplements that are needed to match your livestock nutrient demands. For your enterprise, it is worth doing a gross margin to compare the value of the crop as a standing crop for grazing compared to a grain crop. These are just some handy hints along with Josie's information to help you get a productive, versatile standing crop option. For further information, visit the McKillop Farm Management Group website.